And we're back. Welcome to Talkin Ball with Frank and Max. But today we're going over something a little different, Max. Would you like to tell
Yes, we
everybody?
are. Yeah, we're gonna talk some bets for the Super Bowl. Cause why not?
Why not? Throw some money out there, win some money. I
Let's
am.
do it.
I'm doing it. I'm betting.
I'm betting. I'm trying to win some money, and I know the people back home are trying to win some money too. So let's try to help them do that.
Yes, sir. So, you wanted to go over this one first. Talk about it.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like we have to do our due diligence here and talk about just overall the spread and whatnot. I mean, clearly, DraftKings has it as a pick 'em. I think in our own predictions, we were flip flopping 100 times, so I could totally see that. Again, gut pick would be KC straight up plus 105. I think that line might move on Sunday, but frankly, I just don't really like any of these. If I had to, again, gut pick would be taking the under at 51, money line plus 105 for KC, but I just think there's more value to the prop bets here, but I don't know if you wanted to touch on this.
No, I mean, I like going into the prop bets. That's the kind of better I am. I like to look at prop bets and, all that. So, I'm happy to hop right into that.
So let's talk about touchdown scores. Do you want to touch on like your best bet here out of all of
Well,
these?
I just want to touch on something real quick. I noticed throughout the week because I've been keeping an eye on it. Pacheco has dropped from plus 850 to now plus 750. I don't know how much that really impacts people's picks, but the players I'm looking for first TD score, that's the bet I like the most. Travis Kelsey, obviously, but I think that's honestly a trap. And I'm looking more at Jerick McKinnon for the Kansas City Chiefs at plus 1100, or you go with Miles Sanders or Dallas Goedert for the Philadelphia Eagles for first touchdown scorer. I don't know how you feel about that, Max. We were kind of talking about it beforehand.
I mean, listen, I 100% agree on the Travis Kelsey take. I think Travis Kelsey is due for a touchdown this game. I just don't know if he's due to be the first touchdown scorer. I just think that's a bait line at plus 650. I think everyone and their mother's going to take it. Um, But again, I personally think there's really, really good value on both Dallas Goedert, first touchdown scorer, and potentially we were talking about Isaiah Pacheco, like you just mentioned. So I just think that in a short yardage situation for the Eagles, you could see one of a Miles Sanders, potentially a Jalen Hurts running in. But I also think that Dallas Goedert, I mean, again, in general, the Eagles' passing game hasn't really been a factor these past two playoff games. But in particular, Dallas Goedert has not really gotten a lot of the target share. I think he's due for a game here. So we could touch on maybe over-under yardage for him a little bit later because I do think there's really, really, really good value there for Dallas Goedert. But I think at the very least, as an anytime touchdown scorer for Dallas Goedert, I think there's really good value. But my best bet here would probably be Dallas Goedert plus 1,200 for first touchdown score.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. Those are the four players I feel comfortable with, the ones that we listed. I think if you want to get real risky and maybe, throw Kenneth Gainwell in there because he's been ramping up his carries and he's been getting a few touchdowns these past few games. And, at plus 2,200, you could see a Kenneth Gainwell touchdown. I'm not.
You could. I mean, but again, I think he's more of an anytime touchdown
guy,
scorer. Yeah. But I'm saying like Dallas Goedert is the type of guy that I can see them getting in, like getting him some targets early on in the game.
Yeah.
Because again, he's been a complete non-factor throughout the playoffs. Like yes, again, their passing game in general hasn't been effective, but like Casey's gonna have to scheme for AJ Brown. They're gonna have to scheme for Devontae Smith. I just think that Dallas Goedert is that odd man out, which could potentially be an X factor in this game.
Yep.
So I like Dallas Goedert's value a ton for bets.
Yep, and I think this week when I go bet, I am going to place one down for Kelsey. Probably not expensive, probably $20 on it. But I'm also going to look at maybe Pacheco is probably an anytime guy.
Pacheco. Can't even get his name right.
Yeah, I think those are the two bets I'm going to place.
Yeah.
When I do go bet this week.
So why don't we do rushing and receiving prop bets since we were just touching on that. Let's do receiving yards. Wow, actually, the line's a little bit higher than I thought. The line for Dallas Goddard is 48.5. I would probably, I'd probably still go over.
I'm going over on that. I'm betting that as well.
Yeah, because I just think Dallas Goddard is due for a big game. Where I am going to take the under is A.J. Brown under 72.5 yards. I think that's a lock. I just don't see A.J. Brown honestly get. I mean, A.J. Brown's going to get his. He's going to get some targets, but you're really banking on them relying on him a lot, but more so in the deep threat game, where I just think Devontae Smith thrives more in that element of the pass catching game. But I just think, again, I'm really big on Dallas Goedert being the X factor in the passing offense for Philly. So I just have my eyes there. I think for KC, I mean, they're saying the line for Jerick McKinnon is 20.5. I could see that potentially being an over with some dumped, just check downs to him.
He hasn't been too involved recently, and kind of like what you're saying with Goddard, McKinnon was the guy for a long time in the middle of the season when they were like filling out running back situation, and I think he's kind of due for a game, and this would be a game to do it when the best secondary is watching everybody's receivers. You get those dump downs.
You know what? Actually, flip this. My best bet for KC, if we're talking about receiving yards, is MVS 36.5. Give me the over. Easy. Easy. That. And then I think my best bet, like we were touching on earlier, for Philly has to be Dallas Goedert over 48.5. I just think he's due for a big game. I think both those guys are gonna take. You just got to take them with the over.
Yeah.
I feel really good about that MVS line. I did not notice that until now.
Now, I mean, you could say it's also maybe a trap because we were talking about it earlier, but Travis Kelce's over-under is 78.5. How do you feel about that? Because I think he's going to be very highly targeted, but I don't know how many yards. Does that make sense? I feel like he's going to be a lot of targets this game, but I don't think it's going to be a lot of big plays.
He's not. No, I'd take the under there. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to score a touchdown, but I don't think he's going to get so many big chunk plays that he's going to amass, 78.5?
Yep.
Yeah. So I agree with you. I do think that's a bait line. I think people will take it because it's Travis Kelce. But again, if these other guys are healthy, MVS, Juju, Kadarius Toney, that just takes target share away from him. And those guys are more than capable, in particular MVS, to get big plays.
Yep.
So I don't think that there's a lot of value for Kelce here.
I 100% agree. Yep. I think if I'm doing any of these bets, I really feel comfortable with that McKinnon one. Maybe I'm just a Jerick McKinnon guy, but Jerick McKinnon over 20.5. I really think this would be the game for him to show out, especially playing a defense like Philly that plays a lot of over the top coverage.
Yeah. Let's touch on some passing props. Do you think that Patrick Mahomes is going to throw for over 2.5 touchdowns?
I don't think so.
No?
I think he might have. I think it might be more of a 2 and 2. If they score a touchdown, I think it's going to be 2 passing, 2 3 rushing. I think it's going to be a lot of they get there and then they trust it at the line.
Just punch it in.
Yeah. And I think honestly same thing for Hurts. I think the same thing's going both ways. It's not going to be when it gets near the goal line. I don't think it's going to be crazy passing. It's going to be a lot of running.
That's fair.
How you feel about that?
I like the under for both these guys.
I do too.
I like the under for both of them. I just don't see Jalen Hurts throwing the ball nearly that much. And I think although Mahomes will throw the ball a lot, I just don't see him getting 300 yards this game. Not on Philly's defense.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more of a 250, 260 game.
Yeah,
and I think
the under. I think the under is really good value for both these guys.
Hurts has gone, 150 against the Giants, 150-ish, I believe, against the Niners. So you just don't know with how his injury is. I don't feel comfortable saying he's going to go over 240.
Yeah, I don't disagree. So yeah, again, I think there's some really, really good game prop value here. I think there's one in particular that just catches my eye. Again, you really have to be banking on KC to win this game to like these bets. But I think my best bets right here for the game props are taking KC to win outright and both teams to score 20 or more points. I just think this is ridiculously good value. And if for those of you that are a little bit more daring and love some high-scoring football, I would entice you to potentially take this as well. But if you want to talk about just a sure bet, I think this is incredible value. I personally believe that, these are two very, very, very competent offenses. Albeit it will be a close game. Albeit I still think it might hit the under. I just think, this is exactly the type of game that KC would need in order to win, which is both teams being competitive, scoring points, and throwing the football. And I just think that this is, again, if KC's going to win it, it's going to have to be in that fashion. And I just think there's really good value for, frankly, both of these. But if you want to be on the safer side, you take this one right here. What do you think, Frank?
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to show my dad this bet and see if he likes it, because I like this bet a lot. Now, I would probably feel safe. I'd probably feel good betting the both teams score 30 and KC wins. But to be safe, I think the 20 points is it's got to be for sure. I don't see either team.
You're going to take that plus 250 any day of the week.
I don't see either team scoring less than 20. Unless one team just has a defensive gauntlet game where it's just...
Again, you're just hoping for, I know we were saying earlier, it could be a Pats-Rams type game, but even then, you're really just banking on them getting at least a touchdown.
I think those are both really good bets, because we were going over before this, and I think out of the ones we looked at in this section in the game props, this is the best one that we saw.
This might be we just said it before we recorded. These might be the two best bets, period, of the entire Super Bowl.
There was that one bet. It's not a great bet, but it was I think it was in this one. It was the Tide after 0-0. Do you remember that one?
Oh, the Tide, yeah. Yeah, right here. Will the game be tied again after 0-0?
I very much think it will. I think
I think so too. I think minus 135 is pretty solid value for that as well. And there's another one that we liked a lot. Here we go. This one's a bit of a gutsy one. This is for those of you that, again, want some high-scoring football and, want to be a little bit and you want to gamble a little bit. This you can afford to, not put as much cash, because look at the odds. Plus 1,400 to happen in every quarter. You need a touchdown and a field goal. Doesn't matter which team does it. So you could theoretically have a quarter where the Eagles have a touchdown and the Chiefs get a field goal, and vice versa. It just needs to happen like that. Frank, how possible do you think this is?
I like that a lot. Now, before, when we were looking over everything, I did say my only fear about it is these are two teams that score touchdowns a lot.
Yeah.
So, like you say, you don't have to put a lot of money on it, so you don't have to risk so much. I like this bet, though. I really do. I think it's a bet.
It's a fun bet.
I think honestly, this is a bet that can happen because both teams score a lot of touchdowns, and you always know in the Super Bowl teams play a lot better defense, and you're going to see field goals. You're going to. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I think this game is inevitably going to bring field goals.
So I really like this bet, especially if you're just putting 10, 5 on it, whatever. Nothing too crazy. Just a fun little bet to throw down. I like it.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, 5 to win 70. That's really good value.
Yeah.
This is another one, and I know I'm going to sound a little contradictory to what I just said earlier about the Chiefs, but actually no, I definitely won't, because look. This is the way that I think the game is going to go. Not to repeat myself from the preview video, but I just think that if Philly wins the game, it's going to be because they played a really run-heavy style where they were mitigating KC's tempo, just trying to make sure that Mahomes doesn't touch the field as much. So they're going to just run, shoot clock, low scoring. I like Philly under 51.5 as a combination. Same game parlay at plus 225 if you like the Philly side. I personally like the KC side. If I'm going to take the KC side, I might do KC in the over 51.5. I just think that, again, if KC wins this game, it's probably going to be in the way of a shootout, high scoring, a lot of touchdowns. And I just think that, honestly, there's really good value here for KC in the under, but I just think that, again, if I had to pick my two best bets, I like Eagles under 51.5, Chiefs over 51.5, and whoever you decide to win this game is entirely up to you, but I just think that's the way that these two teams are going to win their games.
Yep. I 100% agree. Love both those bets. Now, obviously, I want the Chiefs to win, so I don't want to bet for Philly to win it. But I think it is a great bet. Philly's going to play their style of football, and if they do, I think they win it with the under.
Yep. I mean, I think that kind of covers it.
I think those were
me.
the best bets that we saw. I mean, there's obviously your...
Now the team totals. The team totals are interesting. I don't know if you have a take on the team totals.
I haven't really looked into the team totals, actually.
So they have KC team total of 24.5. That's the line for the team total, and then they have Eagles team total 26.5. I mean, I think KC over 24.5 is a more enticing bet than Eagles under 26.5.
Yes.
Or over, for that matter. Like, if I had to, again, I don't know if I'm going to take any of these, but I do think that KC over 24.5 is really, really, really good value.
I mean, if you're betting KC over 24.5 and you put that bet down for the Chiefs to win with the 30, with the team, both teams scoring 30, you could win some money right there.
That's true. I didn't even consider that. That's a really good point, dude.
You could double. You could double it down.
Parlay, yeah, you could definitely parlay this, can't you?
Should be.
No, actually, I don't know if you can parlay multiple prop bets, but either way, I do think that taking this KC team total over 24.5, if you decide to do KC wins and both teams score 30 points, I do think that those are gutsy bets to take, but I think that's the direction I see this game going for KC.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, like you said, they are gutsy, but I feel like it's a good gutsy. Like, it's not like you're picking an out of this world bet. Like, it can happen. It's very possible to happen. And if you were to put both those down, I feel comfortable. I would feel comfortable doing that.
I think that covers it for me, man.
I think that's all good. I like the bets we picked. All right, hope you guys did enjoy that episode. Let us know what you're betting down below. I'm gonna be betting. Max, hopefully you'll be betting.
That's the plan.
Bet responsibly. Don't blow all your money.
Yeah, definitely bet responsibly.
Make the smart bets, but those are the bets we think are the best ones to go with. Hope you guys did enjoy the video, though. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and peace.